All right, everyone, Manager Bud Black here. If you have a question for Bud, go ahead and raise your hand and we will jump in. Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Obviously a hitter doesn't just set out to hit a home run. It's not that easy. I understand. You guys haven't hit a whole lot of home runs this year. Is that just sort of the roster just doesn't have a whole lot of pop in it, or is there something that leads to that? And then also, what goes right when 4 home runs are hit in an inning?
Well, I think you're right, though. I think the roster sort of will dictate how many homers you have based on your personnel and how much power you have and how much raw power. So I think that's pretty self-evident. How do I explain the 4 homers in 1 inning? Dawes has got some pull power. Both his homers are sort of similar, sort of balls sort of down, sort of middle in, and he got the head to it. Trevor's got power. We've seen that. Crone has power. So those didn't surprise me. Both those pitches were up out over the plate. And I think Josh has 6 homers, not really a power hitter, but has a little power. And we got a hold of a breaking ball that just didn't quite, break enough for their pitcher. So, sometimes it's contagious, an inning. I think that's what happened today. Tap let it off with that base hit up the middle, then Dawes' home run, and there was some, energy created. And I think the lineup, the rest of the lineup from Trevor on down, fed off the first 2 at-bats by Tap and Dawes.
When you're standing on the top step there by the entrance of the dugout in a big inning like that, do you see hitters who are in the hole or who are at the bat rack, like maybe like a little bit more eager to get into the game at that point?
I don't know if it's eager. I just know guys are ready to pop up those stairs and get on deck. I know that when there's momentum. And, we, got to their starter, and that gave us, some life. That got us going for sure. But you can feel in the dugout the momentum starting to turn our way for sure.
And then real quick, just in case we lose control here, do you have an update with specifics on Austin Gomber?
Yeah, he's fine. Well, we think he's going to be fine. He had an MRI. The MRI came back clean. He feels good about that. Keith and the doctors also feel good about that. So we'll continue to assess him. But, it might not be a bad thing for him to take a step back here for 10 days. Take a little break from the action, right? I think all 30 teams have talked about this and how they're handling their workload of their starting pitchers and even their bullpen. So, we were planning on doing this at some point with Austin. John's had a little break now. He threw the day. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. If not, you can probably find that rather quickly through modern technology. But we're confident that Austin's going to, be fine.
Thomas Harding.
Yes, buddy. I am having a little bit of difficult time hearing, but I'll try to lean in. To see what Trevor Story has done this homestand, you kind of saw him gradually building, hitting balls the other way. You feel like he's locked himself back in with the home run today.
It's better for sure. We talk about, when Trevor starts driving the ball the other way, up the middle, those are good signs. And he's done that this week. So a couple of good swings today with the homer. Came back there in the 9th inning against Boxberg with the line drive to left. A couple of strikeouts early against Lauer. Seemed he was on time. He just missed it. We just saw him swing through some pitches, early in the game against him. Because Trev's had good history against their starter, as did Chuck. So But to your question about Trev, it looks to me like he's getting, really close to being locked in.
A game like today, granted you didn't come out with the win, but just kind of seeing the innings, seeing these guys pull back into it. Have you ever really had any worry about this team getting down on itself? It seemed if anything, they just work hard and maybe they try too hard.
It's the character of this team. They're going to play every out, whether it's 54 or beyond. And we got some momentum, right, with Dawes' homer. And then Trev, doubled that right back up with a homer. So that gave us, that, like I said earlier, that, I think they started backpedaling a little bit. They had to go to their bullpen. We kept going. Big swing by Crone for the, to play him and Charlie. Josh, like I said, got a whole little breaking ball and, put the barrel to it and got it up in the air and went out. So, and then even after that, we had a couple guys on, that inning to, continue, but they got us. They brought the lefty, but we fought back. It was a good game. Carlos Estevez did a great job putting 2 zeros up in the 7th and the 8th. And the Brewers fisted some balls off of Daniel there. Peterson got the base hit off the knuckles, and I got to go see the pitch to the ball block. That looked like it wasn't hit hard, but he's got some strength and to the outfield.
Also, with young players, they sometimes there are some rough days. What do you think Nunez could learn from the 9th inning? I know the steal attempt throw wasn't on. The throw from the outfield wasn't able to handle it.
Well, it's a learning experience for Dom, right? April made the opening day roster. Now here it is, the middle of June. He's learned a lot, and he'll continue to learn the rest of the way. I think what he's learned, and even though you really can't, I've said this before, a minor league game is different than a big league game, the speed of it. He's figuring that out. He's got a good baseball mind. He might have rushed his throw a little bit on the stolen base, but, he's going to continue to progress. Offensively, I think he learns every time he takes an at-bat. And I know that he and the hitting coaches are working on some things to, cut the strikeouts down and put the ball more in play consistently. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So he's learning, for sure. He's learning. And in games like today, when the pressure's on, you're facing a good team, you can only learn from this. So he's going through it, and he's getting better by playing.
And last one from me. I don't know if Nick asked it earlier. I couldn't hear. John Gray, decent outing for him. 6 strikeouts. I think 62 pitches. Do you already have where you're going to pencil him in back in the rotation?
We have some things penciled out. Yes. Let's wait a couple of days, Thomas. I know you want some paragraphs to write, but need to be patient on this. But I did hear that John pitched well. Keith talked to John after the game. John was encouraged. So, let's see how this, goes in the next day or two. John's going to meet us in Seattle, and we'll discuss the plans for John, when we get to Seattle.
Thanks, buddy.
And final questions from Sean Keeler.
Hey, buddy, sorry if you already addressed this with Nick and everybody else. How do you kind of evaluate Daniel's weekend? Closers have short memories, relievers have short memories. How do you kind of take this in context?
Yeah, I think, Daniel's, overall has been, I think, pretty solid for us. There's been, some ups and downs like any closer. It's going to happen. He is, he's willing to take on the responsibility of a game like that and handle it both, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I've always maintained that the 9th inning is different than any other inning. I think you can ask anybody who's played this game. They'll tell you the same thing. But overall, I think Daniel's been a positive for us on our pitching staff. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time.